SICK FISH is about reducing pollution in the ocean. This includes both a lot of microplastic trash in the ocean. It includes a lot of both. I'm like, okay, one, sorry. Okay, SICK FISH is basically trying to reduce as much pollution in the ocean for fish. We are trying to reduce both toxic chemicals as well as marine debris, trash. And this is not only plastic, it's all type of trash. Because it's disturbing fish and their ecosystem and whatever keeps them alive and us alive. So here we are connecting. This is OCEAN+HUMAN is one of our projects. We started in 2017, and that year in Stavanger, Norway, we really motivated a lot of the garbage cleaning and cleaning beaches, and we took up 17 tons trash that one year, and we've been keeping cleaning, and we've gotten the government to give trash bags out for everyone and gloves, and this has really helped the cleaning. And people who are taking walks every day are picking up garbage off the beaches. So the beaches are already looking really good. So this has been a good benefit. But now, and we started a technology group. That's another project, and this we started in 2015, and we've been developing new technology to find where trash is and measure it, and also see how much value is in this trash. And we're collaborating with different companies to use this trash to recycle and bring back to land, so the areas will restore themselves and become healthier areas. There's a long way to go still. The problem is big, and it's for the whole world to work together on. It's for many organizations to work together on. And we're very excited to start SICK FISH here in Asia. And we hope many more would want to become members and work with us, and also help develop projects with them. And we love to have projects together, and we love to take in new projects and help get funding and work both with Norway and Asia. I think will be also a good possibility. We are also eager to help do more research in South China Sea, because the seas here in off of Taiwan are very important, because the climate change and the pollution is very high, and it continues and pollutes the Arctic as well, and areas in Norway. So that creates a lot of viruses and bacteria that are going all over the world in the Arctic, and it also increases the melting of the ice in the area. So there's a lot of research that needs to be done in these areas, and we also love to help get research done, so it'll push more solution-solving projects on land. It's very important for everyone to be part of something about improving ocean health and environment health, because it's not for other people to do, it's for everyone to participate in. If everyone makes a difference, it will change. And we are very, very strong people, and we can make a big difference. What's happened per today is we are creating a lot of pollution for the ocean, and we are also producing a lot of fish, seaweed, a lot of nourishment in the ocean is very important for all of us. In Norway, we have some of the biggest fish production in the world. As well, here in Taiwan, they produce a lot of oysters. And the oysters is a very valuable production. But we did notice that from introducing each other's importance in biology and looking into trash and beach cleaning, we noticed there's immense amount of styrofoam here in Taiwan that come up on the beaches. There are solutions for that. There is better technology now for oyster farming, healthier oyster farming strategies. And it's also very important that a lot of contamination doesn't affect the oyster farming. And these are the issues everyone needs to look at. We understand there's a high percentage of mercury in a lot of both fish in Norway and oyster farming here. And this is something that does affect people that eat oysters and fish. And this is very important to look into. It is part of the economy. It is also part of a value for our health. We need to change. Many countries here today have been illegalizing styrofoam. And styrofoam is actually very polluting for waters. A lot of toxins, like PCBs, polyethylenes, they are affecting the ocean. It is very toxic to drink or eat styrofoam with food in styrofoam. If it's hot, some of the PCBs or all the chemicals go into the food. And the same with hot drinks. It is quite contaminating for the body and disturbing. And this happens to the animals too. And if you use it for farming, that's also the biggest issue. We hope styrofoam can become I know it's a very potent, very light product, but there are new solutions. They're producing now in the US styrofoam from mushrooms. There is a lot of substances that have that same effect, light effect, and will not contaminate our digestion, our foods, or the actual food we eat from fish, oysters. Having it floating in water with salt water dilutes it. It breaks down the microplastics. It breaks down the nanoplastics that is actually made from oil, petroleum oil, which is something we drive our cars with. So all these little connections we don't always think about and see every day are very important to look into. It's rather saying curing a lot of the nature before, and curing ourselves before, and the ocean before we have to give it medicine. We are now relying so much on the medical industry to solve all these issues, but if we can look at it now and go to the core of the problem, the source of the problem, it will definitely make a result. And it's better to do it now than never. And we have to think of our children's future and their health, and we're leaving a lot of issues onto them today. And this is very important for us to take action, and for everyone to take action. So in Norway, we've been cleaning a lot of beaches together. We have cleaning campaigns where gather many people, but not that many. Amount of 10 to 20 is the limit, but it's also to go pick up garbage on beaches, helps a lot. Also keep things clean on inland because winds take everything back into the ocean. It's very important to keep a tidy street, a tidy, if there's garbage around any garbage can, don't be afraid. Be the person that picks it up and takes it into the garbage can. I think it's not to do with who is higher class or who's more rich and who's cleaner or whatever else. Bring gloves, put it in. Everyone's been cleaning in Norway, and has nothing to do with who is rich or poor. It is very important for all of us because we have no power over our health. We have no power if nothing is healthy that we eat around us. Then it has nothing to do with money. It has to do with our lives. And that is more powerful. You need to be healthy to work hard. So my grandmother always said, she said, if you don't stay healthy, you can't make money. So that was a very important thing she always told me. You have to be healthy to work, and you also have to make money. You have to be healthy to make more money. So she said, health is everything. And also, I think what the government has helped us with is, or the garbage companies actually, they've been giving us bags for free and then setting up stations along beaches where there are garbage bags possible, and they're made out of corn. And we pick it up and we put garbage when we're just taking a walk with a family. We're not thinking so much that we're going to pick garbage, but it's fun for children to understand and learn on the way. And if the beach has a little bit of garbage, pick it up. It's as simple as that. We have also set up a program with fish farming. We have found a lot of fish nets, and we set up a program that they bring the fish net back. We get them a little money, and we recycle the fish nets. It's been quite effective, but there are circumstances where they lose a fish net and they can't get it. But then we have free divers and divers that work with them to go fetch the nets if it's necessary. So this has helped a lot. We've already, just within a year, we've seen a big difference in just working together. And we have one organization in Norway. It's called Keep Norway Clean. They're funded by a lot of the garbage companies as well to take in the garbage, and we call them up. We have a website that locates where the garbage is and where they can pick the garbage up, and they come and pick it up for free, and then they use it for burning, and they burn it for electricity mostly. They sell it also to Sweden for that, but it has become a little economy on its own, but it's the beginning. But we see and hope that everything we take out of the ocean, us and SICK FISH, we hope new companies in the industry will start using trash from the ocean to produce new products, and preferably bigger products, so we can find other solutions for smaller products, and especially things that are in our everyday life, I think should be based off of more natural products. It is possible. It's totally possible if we all take action. I created this as a collage representing a lot about SICK FISH and the problems and issues we look into. We have looked into what fish eat, from plankton to the krill they eat. Everything relates to each other, and how fish kind of summarize a lot of issues together. And it also tells about a lot of the pollution that we also eat that goes through fish. It's a representation of not only the feelings we all go through, but the reality and the truth of what we are dealing with. We have some elements of shipping and how much children are affected by the pollution, how actually the pollution has been brought up as an issue since the 50s and 60s, and it seemed to be ignored that plastic is a disturbing substance. And it's kind of summarizing everything we go through, and how also it affects the fish industry and the petroleum industry, also affects the poorer countries, and the big cities are affecting the smaller, poorer countries because we are sending a lot of trash outside of our own countries and not dealing with the issue and not recycling everything we produce. So it's also about how much toxic chemicals are in the ocean today, and it's affecting fish as well. There's so much to explain. It's hard to just put it in one picture, but this is as much as we can put together. Thank you. This setup is sort of demonstrating how actually pollution from land is entering the ocean in Taiwan areas. And then we have satellites of how the ocean moves and how the contamination from climate and rain and melting of the snow affects the ocean as well. And there's deeper issues to this pollution entering the ocean. And we're going into all the different microscopic elements that are affected by the ocean, and how they basically, like plankton, get disturbed and they end up with plastic inside of them, and same as microbes get plastic in them and they end up with microbes. Are also parasites, which are viruses and bacteria that get more aggressive in the ocean. And you often see oceans become much greener and like thin blue when the ocean is polluted. And this also travels with currents, as well as fish travel with currents. And that means fish are constantly polluted by the pollution we put in the ocean, and how the pollution actually travels already from the South China Sea on to the Arctic, affecting Arctic climate change as well as the ocean and the ocean life in the Arctic. So everything relates and everything connects. So this is kind of going into a bit of the science. It might be a little complicated for a lot of people, but there's so many small organisms that are important for life, and we're making them ill, very ill. And it is helpful to understand that it just doesn't disappear, it stays in the ocean because we're producing so much more trash than that normally. And it's also because of our mass consumption. So we have to find new ways of being aware of why industries should change their routines and their ways of letting out garbage and pollutants and toxic chemicals. So this image is kind of literally explaining how much trash a fish can consume We find many mammals and fish with garbage, from plastic bags to the smallest and largest particles to the smallest particles that we can't even see. That's the chemical. But this is a lot of trash that's entering a school of fish that are traveling through currents. We have samples here on different garbage types and different plastics, from styrofoam to PP plastic. We have also PCBs and PVCs and plastic bags and this explains how something can stay in the water about 5 years down the road. And this often gets consumed by fish and animals as well. But then it breaks down. We can estimate it being about 5 years in this area. And then we have also, and a lot of this plastic, of course, is produced from petroleum. And petroleum-based is not really healthy for any body or life form. It sets disturbances, and so does it in algae and bacteria and plankton. So we have petroleum-based microplastic, and this is the smallest form that is used to see through a microscope. Here we can actually see some of it, but it can be so small. You think the water is clear, but there's probably millions of billions of microplastics per aerial. And that's what ends up in fish and us when we drink. And we're estimating some of this can last for 50 years and it does not break down. It just goes into bodies and stays in your system. And then further down the years, like past 100 years plus, we're estimating that a lot of the plastic becomes nanoplastic. Nanoplastic is when it becomes a chemical. And the chemical doesn't break down as well. It doesn't break down at all. So it just stays in your system for the rest of your life. So here we have things that we often find on land. This is on water. This is often what we find on beaches, on land, or in materials that go in off through the ocean. Some of it takes about 100 years to disappear. And some of this microplastic also takes 100 to 200 years to disappear and turn into this. And the rocks have plastic that end up with a lot of the trash caught into it, and also building materials end up with a lot of plastics in them, take a long time to deteriorate and go into the ocean and turn into this. So everything has its contaminating cycle, and it's very interesting to understand that it does not go out of the body. It sits in your endocrine system, and it doesn't leave your fat cells. It stays inside your cells, and it disturbs the cells and makes a person very hyperactive. Maybe that's why we're trying to live life so fast. It's sort of a slideshow film synopsis of a lot of the pollution and the problems that occur in daily life. It includes industry, sewage outlets, things that go into river. Over 12 million tons microplastic enters the ocean from channels, rivers, and any other industrial outlet from urban cities daily. And it's extremely much trash that ends up in these channels as well. It's not only toxic chemicals. We have plenty of the issues are also included that we need our ocean for medical use as well. There's a lot of healing elements, and also our food that is in our ocean every day, and it's essential that we keep the ocean healthy and be aware of what we put in. We use so many chemicals every day, from cleaning products, from shampoos that include plastic in them. And it's very important to look into more natural substances and chemicals versus the petroleum types. So our everyday matters, and we're all responsible what we do every day. I know industries and advertising is very tempting, but they also have to take a responsibility for these issues. So, and we find a lot of, I don't know what I was going to say anymore. Oh, yes. So, yes, and our children are also affected, again, a lot from the issues. But we have also, I'm going in on the issue that we have a lot of medical waste. We produce a lot of medicines because we get sick, and we don't know why we get sick and all these diseases, but it actually comes from a lot of the pollution we produce. And it's a vicious cycle. We are our own worst enemy here. So SICK FISH is bringing together some solutions for everyday life and also for industrial ideas. We're always open to share. We're no one's enemy, no finger pointer. We think everyone should work together, and think most organizations should work together on these issues. And it's all about coming up with new solutions and solving problems. Yes, thank you. This is the selection area of ocean-human solutions. There's plenty of solutions out there. They already exist. There's always an excuse that they're very expensive to produce and it is limited resources, but of course we are trying to aim for a variety of resources and natural resources and a lot of bio-waste and waste products that can actually, natural waste products then actually can go into products that we use every day. Of course, it's very important to reduce your products every day. There's a lot of things we do not need every day. But then again, we have found a lot of little things like a simple toothbrush here made out of bamboo and fibers. And it also goes for a very good cause. We have found makeup and that's made out of a different packaging, and it's not plastic. And toothbrush is very important because we put that in our mouth every day, and that's the same with flossing. We have floss, and it's not made out of plastic, and neither is the thread. The thread is made out of bamboo. And packaging is very interesting if you look into the natural ways of producing it. And then there's also a lot of packaging we just don't need. And it actually reduces the price of the product. And nothing can be any more expensive than producing oil for petroleum industry, like building, working on the mass consumption of producing oil, or how much oil is produced every day, is very expensive. And there's no doubt it can't be compared to producing a small manufacturer. And also manufacturing locally is a good idea too. So we have looked in different fiber-based, this is the plant-based fiber, and they have zero microplastic. And it means there's no plastic in it, no petroleum plastic. We breathe in a lot of, if there's a lot of dust or a lot of things we put in our mouth that are plastic, it does affect us. We have plastic cups actually made of corn. But some of these things do take a little longer time to disappear in the ocean. But of course, the motive is to recycle them as well. Plastic bags are used a lot all over the world, and there's many solutions. Now there's a new solution on edible plastic, plastic made out of avocado seeds. There's plastic made of corn. Now we have plastic made of rice, which is quite a hard form of plastic, great for cups and drinking, and also reusable. And it's very important to try to reuse. We have a lot of materials that are fiber-based that are really great for washcloths, clothing. It could be beautiful clothing. I mean, everything has been produced this way since the 1300s, even the Egyptian times, and Chinese and Asians have been producing a lot of plastic, natural-based plastics through generations. Babies are exposed to a lot of plastic the first thing they enter the world. They get a pacifier in their mouth. We have up here a pacifier that is amazingly natural rubber, and it is better for the baby. Of course, you boil it, you do everything the same, but it's much healthier. And we have, of course, the water bottle, which is better off not being plastic, because then you're just consuming more petroleum plastics. So we keep it to be steel or other natural-based plastic, or glass is a really good idea. There's a lot of beautiful things that can be made, and actually inexpensive as well. And we just consume way too much plastic every day. And that includes styrofoam and everything else. It just needs to end. It just needs to stop. There are so many other ways we can do this. And if we work together, it'll work out. Great. Thank you. Of course, we have the cup. It's female sanitation. It's the menstruation cup. It actually is one product that lasts 10 years for a woman. That leaves us saving the ocean from a lot of tampons and bleach-treated pads or maxi pads and things like that. And it's very easy to use. It actually stops a lot of cramps and also stops a lot of diseases that women have. We have a campaign. It's called thecup.org, and it actually, if one richer country buys one cup, it goes 4 cups to support a woman in Kenya, or several women in Kenya or India, a poorer country. And it's a very good program, and it's a very good product that actually simplifies a woman's life. So that's good.